Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are really excited to have everybody here today. And as you know, we are going to make the final announcements for the Red Hat Hackathon, the Reboot Customer Experience. For those of you who have participated, thank you very much for your participation over the last quite a few months. We started in September and had round one that ended at the end of October. Then we pushed it out a week and then had round two. And then we had the judges look at everything. And I know you've waited a really long time to find out who the winners are. So, well, you're just going to have to wait a couple more minutes longer because we're just going to make a couple of announcements before we get going. I'm Carolyn Luco. I'm one of the organizers at the conference with a company called WIP based in Vancouver. And with me on this winning announcements is Manfred. Manfred, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much, Carolyn. Hi, everyone. Yeah, super excited about this final stage of the hackathon. My name is Manfred. I cover at Red Hat all the integration products. So that's Fuse, Freescale, AMQ, which was part of the hackathon. But in the hackathon, we actually offered a lot more of the open source tools that Red Hat provides. And what that means and what's the outcome of all of that, that's what we're going to cover in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So Carolyn, talk us through a little bit. What do we have planned for this session today?
Sure. So firstly, again, welcome. We're going to do just a short walkthrough about the hackathon overview. We're going to introduce the final round of projects so everyone's familiar. I've got an interview with Jose, one of our judges. And then, of course, we're going to announce the winners, starting with third place winners, second place winners, and then the first place winners. And then we'll close out. What we'd like to do, too, is when we do announce the first place winner, we're hoping that you'll be able to come on to the webinar and tell us just how excited you are. So that's where we're going to be at. So, Manfred, do you want to swap?
Sure, I'll carry on. One more thing, we need to freestyle a little bit because actually no one knows who is the winner. It's just us, the organizing team, who judges, of course, who knows who is the winner. So we hope the winning team is actually on the call and we can identify the right person. And then we would love to hear some of the thoughts of the winning team later towards the end of this call. Okay, so let's carry on. The theme of this hackathon was about reboot customer experience with open source. We kept this theme on purpose fairly broad because customer experience is something I'm pretty sure every one of us can identify with. I'm sure every one of us has one or more or several not so great experiences with customer experience by organizations. So that's what we used as our challenge. That's what we used as the topic. And we invited the participants of the hackathon to think about how they can improve customer experience, and in particular, using open source technologies to improve customer experience. It was a very unique, a very exciting project for Red Hat. It was the first of its kind in Europe. It was a virtual hackathon, so everything was done virtually, including this announcement today. And we had it running over a couple of weeks with 2 different stages. We're going to announce also who got the prizes from the draw from the first round, and then also who made it into the second round, who finally the winner is. If you would like to see all the details around the hackathon, including all sorts of webinars, the documentation of the tools, the stack that we offered, the projects, the judges, feel free to do so at the URL redhat.devpost.com, which we pasted here at the bottom of this slide. So why Red Hat and why open source? So if you know Red Hat a little bit, you will probably know that Red Hat is the open source company. I think we're pretty much the only company that successfully created a business model around open source. And it's a huge win-win for everybody who is involved in this process. Red Hat managed to create a development model as well as a commercial model that's all around open source. So if you look at this figure on the left-hand side, we work with over 1 million of open source projects. which we then, moving to the middle of this slide, we integrate into different still open source communities and platforms. And then we take those communities and platforms and we harden them, we secure them, we go through quality assurance. And then what we sell as a product is essentially support. So we help our customers to use open source software, but we provide the support around this software. This is a very, very unique model. Also, all of our products are completely open source, and all of our engineers contribute to open source projects back. So as you can see, Red Hat literally breathes and lives open source. And that's not just only in terms of our products and our code. We even advanced this to the next level, and we took some of the open source principles and introduced that into our organizational model. And we refer to this as the open organization model. So as you can see, open source and openness is all over Red Hat. For the hackathon particularly, we took out one of those areas, which is the middleware area. Underlying all of our middleware products, again, as I just said, we have loads of different open source projects. If you're a developer, you're probably familiar with some of those, like Keycloak or Drools, JBoss, the application server, Apache Camel, and in particular, something that's extremely popular right now is the open source project Apache Kafka. So this is just a snippet, a snapshot of some of the open source projects that we then turn into products. What we offered for the hackathon was basically 3 different segments that you can see here on this slide. The first on the left-hand side is everything that's related to application environments. So these are those open source tools that you can use to actually build and develop applications. In the middle section, we have everything that's related to integration. So we have our Fuse product that's based on Apache Camel. We have AMQ for messaging, and we have the 3-scale API management solution. And then the third segment is everything around process automation, where we offer the process automation manager and a decision manager. We also offer a security element that's Red Hat Single Sign-On or SSO, which is based on the Keycloak project. And everything is encapsulated and offered through this red box, which is our AppDev managed container platform, which is based on a product that is called RHMI, or Red Hat Managed Integration, and that's all running on top of OpenShift. So we offer this whole package as a managed platform, as a managed AppDev platform to the developers who participated in the hackathon. And everyone could pick and choose what kind of tools and products they wanted to use to develop their projects. Okay, so within the theme of rebooting customer experience, there were a couple of criteria that we were looking for and that we asked our judges to judge upon. The first one, the most important, was really about how the project is going to disrupt customer experience. That was pretty much the most important criteria. The others were quality of deliverable. So that's really about the code that was delivered at the end of the project, and also the prototype. Quality of submission was going beyond just the code. So we also asked the participants to submit a brief description about the project, what they think it does to improve customer experience, and also a short video, which we're going to share with you later today. Then, of course, important for us, how those participants used the open source technologies that we offered. As I just said, we offered a whole portfolio, a whole bunch of different technologies and tools. And the more tools that were used in the project, the more points a team received. And then last but not least, the fifth point, or the fifth criteria, was all around technical innovation. And indeed, we looked for not boring projects, so stuff that has been around for a while, but we wanted to see something new, something innovative. And as you will see in a second, the projects that made it into the final round, they're all indeed very diverse, very exciting, and very innovative. All right, Caroline, tell us a little bit more about the various rounds and also what the winners of the rounds received in the end.
Sure. So as we mentioned, we had 2 rounds, and we really wanted to give the participants sort of that extra week. But we also wanted to make sure that everyone who participated in round 1 got a chance to win something. So we did a random drawing of all the submissions, and 3 teams each won €300. So that means you've got to share it amongst your team. And the 3 teams were ACE, the Airline Customer Experience, Hello You, and RHV2 Prometheus. So thank you to all of those teams for participating. And of course, they all went on to round 2, and we'll soon see who's going to be part of that announcement. Just so you know, too, if you are one of the winners, we did work with DevPost, and they'll be contacting all of the winners, both for round 1 and the ultimate winners. There's going to be a little bit of paperwork to sign just to make sure that you followed all the rules and regulations, and they'll make sure that the check will be in the mail. So congratulations to the round 1 winners. Thank you very much for participating.
Perfect. Yes, congratulations everyone. This one is actually not a surprise, so this one has already been communicated, the first round. The big surprise will be the winner of the second round, which we'll go to in a couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes.
Exactly. So these are all those projects that made it into the final, second and final round. We had 9 projects that made it into the final round. It was not easy. I mean, some projects, they simply didn't comply with our rules that we set out, so that was easy. But then there were a lot of other projects where the decision was tough for us to make, who makes it into the second round. But these are the 9 finalists, so to speak. We will not go into all the details of all the projects. Again, I just pasted here the link at the bottom of the slide, redhat.devpost.com, where you can take a look at all of these submissions. What is interesting, though, is that all the submissions are very diverse and very interesting. They cover all sorts of different aspects in all sorts of different areas in terms of user experience. The approaches were all very different. The programming languages were all very different, and also the tools were all very different. So some used more Red Hat tools, some used less Red Hat tools, some used other third-party tools or libraries, which is totally fine. But again, of course, the more Red Hat tools you used at our hackathon, the more points you received. Okay, so if you're interested in that, feel free to, I would like to invite you to take a look at our DevPost page and take a look at those submissions if you want to.
It was sure great. It sure showed the great range of customer experience opportunities that are out there for developers and how open source can support that. So that was really great to see all of that. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, a hackathon would not be possible without judges. Who were those judges, Caroline?
We had 6 great judges, and I'm going to start from right to left because Jose is going to be with us, and I'm going to ask him a few questions when we get to him. But thanks so much to Antonio Vele Gutierrez and Pedro Francisco Martinez, who were from BBVA. So it was great to have some judges from industry. We've got a few others. We did have Marcus Eisel from Red Hat, who's the program lead for developer adoption here in Germany. We had Gert Jan van Halem, who is the CTO of Devo team, and also Marcus Heimbach from Dynatrace, Director of Engineering. And last but certainly not least, we had Jose Quaresma. Jose is going to get on for a minute. He's going to tell me exactly how to pronounce his last name. He is with Accenture, the DevOps practice leader. And so I wanted to bring Jose on to just give a little bit more insight into what the judges saw and what they thought about it. So Jose, are you with us?
Yes, I am, or at least I believe I am. Hello, everyone.
Excellent. Good
Yes,
stuff. We gotcha. So Jose, again, thank you very much. Yep.
No, I was just saying that for the last name, you got it at the second try. So Quaresma is the
Quaresma.
Is the right way.
Excellent. So thanks for joining us on with the hackathon and with the webinar. And just to get a bit of background about what you were thinking about and just customer experience in general, Why do you think customer experience is an important topic, and especially where do you think developers can add some value with customer experience?
Yeah, so I think, well, I have come to value customer experience more and more in the work that I do. And I think the point is that in pretty much everything that we do, whether we are developers, operators, administrators, I think it's always helpful to actually start a lot of the times our work with the customer in mind and focusing on how we can add value and help the customer achieve what they want to achieve, right? So I think it's really not just when we are working with the end customer, but also sometimes it might be an internal customer that we are providing a service to. So I think it's really helpful to keep that in mind, that we're trying to provide value there.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, when you were judging, were you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, so we had as you can see here, we had quite a few judges, and I wasn't focusing so much on the technical side. There was some of the others were focusing a bit more on that, but I was kind of looking a little bit at a mix of how original the idea was, kind of what was the outcome, the end result. But another point was also that I was looking at how well presented it was, right? Because the part of how the teams were able to share their ideas and how they actually implemented them, and that was really important for me.
And important for just anytime you're in business to sell your idea, it's important that you're able to present it. So do you have any tips for developers about what they can do next with their projects?
Yeah, and I think my idea and my answer here might be a little bit boring because it's so much in line with what we have been talking about here. But I do think that kind of opening up the projects and the ideas to the open source community, I think that would be a really good start here, right? And see if you can get more engagement in your ideas and kind of evolve them from there and evolve the implementations.
Makes sense. One last question for you, or just any other takeaways, anything else you'd like to share with us, the participants, the submitters?
Yeah, I think there was one thing that for me, I think it surprised me a little bit, but I had forgotten almost how important it was or how useful it was to actually have a video demo of what we're trying to present, right? So in a lot of the submissions that we see, and if whoever is watching, if you go to the link that was presented and you see the submissions, you see the videos, and it was a very good reminder of how nice it is to just have a simple explanation with a video and a demo of what you have been working on and delivering. I actually used that recently in one of the demos that I had been working on, and I think it's a really simple but also kind of very impactful way of presenting what you've been working on.
And helpful when you're judging.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks so much, Jose. We're glad you're able to join us for the hackathon and for the webinar today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Jose. I also especially like Jose's comment about opening up code. So this may not be relevant for everyone and in every situation, but this is certainly something that for Reddit is extremely important. And if you do open up your code, you open up the possibility of receiving lots of contributions from lots of people if there is an interesting project. So that is the power of open source. That is what Reddit works with a lot, obviously. Okay, so finally, thanks, Jose, for being available for this interview. Also, of course, thanks to all the other judges for helping us out with the hackathon and with the judging. And I think, Caroline,
I don't think we should let them wait any longer.
Yeah, I think now is the moment, right? So you suggested to do it in reverse order.
Got to do it in reverse order.
Yes, let's do that.
So we have had three categories or three levels of winners. Third place winner will get for the team €3,000 as a cash prize. And are we ready? Do we have any music or some drum rolls? And the winner for third place is
Ole, Victor
Victor
CX.
CX. Congratulations. And so Victor CX, as you can see, an auditory CUI for visually impaired or differently abled users for building inclusive interfaces. Was a really exciting project, and Alistair Bahari was the sole developer of this this submission. So a lot of work went into that. So congratulations, Alistair, on winning third prize.
Congratulations, Alistair.
Yeah, that's great. Is Alistair with us? We won't be putting you online, but just wanted to see if you were on the call with us. Yes, he says thanks within the chat. Good stuff. Excellent.
Very good. Congratulations, Alistair.
So
I also found it extremely interesting project, and I would like to encourage you to take a look. It's a very interesting idea. The URL is pasted at the bottom of the slide. Feel free to check it out. Okay, that was third place winner. Moving on.
Winner. Second place winner. So the second place team will get a 5,000 euro cash prize for the whole team to share. And the drum roll, I've got Kamar here helping me with the drum roll.
Excellent.
Our second place winner is RHV2 Prometheus.
Yes.
For the big team there with, woohoo! Good job on that one. For the big team there with Donna da Silva Mori, Michael or Miguel Ramirez, Mario Pera de Miguel, and Victor Perga, which I believe they're a team from Spain. So congratulations. This was an app which can build metrics from the Overt Engine API from RHV and present them as Prometheus format. So we were very impressed with what you had to do. Congratulations.
Exactly. And there already see you the diversity of the different projects. So the first project is completely different from the second project. And again, the URL is pasted here at the bottom. Take a look if you're interested. It's another very interesting project.
Good stuff.
Okay. Now is the time, right? After so many weeks, this is the moment.
So many weeks.
What does the first place winner get, Caroline?
First place winner gets 10,000 euros in a cash prize, again, for the team to share. And they get a chance to go to the Red Hat Summit 2020, which is going to be in San Francisco this year. So all of the winners of this team will get a pass to go to the summit, and also airfare and accommodations for the whole team. So that's pretty exciting. So you get the chance to meet more of the Red Hat people and check out San Francisco and the summit. Woohoo! I think that's a good one.
Absolutely. And I mean, the 10,000 is of course nice. It's always nice to have some cash. But I would actually say the summit attendance is a super valuable prize. This is our biggest conference with thousands of attendees. It's all about open source, our customers, partners, and everybody else who is just interested in open source. And this is the Red Hat Summit. And we would like to invite the winners this conference.
That'll be great.
Okay, so let's see.
We need to
and
do the drum roll again.
Hopefully we have the winners on the call so that we can invite them later for a quick statement if they're on the call. So let's see who the winner is. Drum rolls, please.
The winner is ACE, Airline Customer Experience. Woo! Yeah. Members of the team were Phil Ogilvy, Andre McGuire, R.H. Carbalillo, Mizana Rahman, and Daniel Weatherhead, another big team. And are we going to look at their video? Can we look at that, Manfred?
Yes, we can. Just briefly again, another very fantastic project. This one actually used a lot of different Red Hat tools to come up with their project. It's really impressive what they achieved in this short amount of time in a couple of weeks. Great project, great idea, and also great implementation. So let's take a look at the video. And while we look at the video, let's figure out if we have actually someone from the team on the call.
I see a Phil O there. That must be the right one.
Okay, perfect. So I'll run the video, and then if you could please unmute Phil, and we'll we'll ask him for a quick summary, a quick statement about the hackathon. So I'll see and play this video right now.
In terms of financial performance, the airline industry is perhaps more volatile than any other. Simple cost drivers like the price of aviation fuel can boost or destroy profitability. The growth of budget airlines has heaped pressure on full-service carriers, and competition is as tough as it's ever been. Airlines have to respond quickly to business and market change. Retaining customers, particularly those who fly regularly, is a key imperative. Every part of the customer journey, from considering to booking a flight to checking in, and from the flight itself to collecting baggage, are all crucial touch points that will affect whether the passenger is more or less likely to fly with that airline again. Being able to respond quickly to business and market changes is difficult when it's time-consuming plus expensive to test and deploy changes. Tim is a platinum frequent flyer with Ace Airlines. Imagine his delight at receiving an SMS informing him that he has received a complimentary upgrade to business. Imagine the delight of Ace Airlines CIO that the business rule that recommended Tim receive this upgrade was written and deployed in just days. Laura is a silver frequent flyer with Ace Airlines. Laura is disappointed that her flight has been delayed by 4 hours, but her disappointment melts away when she receives a barcode that lets her access the Ace Airlines passenger lounge. Off to the lounge she goes. We deployed Red Hat Process Automation Manager, 3Scale, API Cast, and several Node.js applications to the OpenShift container platform on Azure to develop our own airline customer experience demo for the fictional Ace Airlines. This process enables Ace Airlines to personalize its interactions with its frequent flyers. This is our custom work item handler, which loads environment-specific properties. This is the multi-instance sub-process, one of which runs for each frequent flyer. Here we retrieve a passenger's frequent flyer details. Business rules determine the event-relevant message for each passenger. Here we can translate an outbound message to the passenger's preferred language. We get an auth token and send them an SMS message if that's their preferred communications channel. We can also send an MMS, such as a barcode voucher. In parallel, we can also send messages to Ace Airlines related parties, such as a departure board. Ace Airlines can send messages that are personalised based on the business rules that reflect the event, the nature of the event, and the frequent flyer status. A silver frequent flyer who has no lounge privileges might receive a food voucher for a 4-hour delay, which we can easily change into a lounge access voucher for a delay of 4 hours or more. If I've specified that German is my preferred language, then the message determined by the business rules is then translated to German. And here we create a mock departure board to show that we can respond to events, like a flight delay or gate change, and extend our personalised, rule-based messaging to other Ace airline departments, such as catering, or to related parties, such as departure boards.
Excellent. So that was the video of the winning team. Now let's see, do we have someone online from the team?
This is Phil. If you can hear me, I'm happy to talk.
Yeah, perfect. Hi, Phil. Welcome. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I've got to say, I'm delighted in that we didn't find out about the hackathon until very late in the piece. And at the same time, I was just doing a small proof of concept about using an SMS API through a Process Automation Manager. And it occurred to some of my colleagues and I, we could actually take that small POC and turn that into something that we've been talking about with a number of airlines about how when they want to make these customer experience changes in response to a competitor, because some of these functions are embedded in millions of lines of COBOL in the mainframe, it might only take them, a month to develop the change, but it might take potentially 8 months to regression test and deploy the change, because obviously a core mainframe airline application is critical. And so our idea is we took those customer experience, event-driven type events out of the mainframe so they could simply send the event and some details to Process Automation Manager via 3Scale. That's a business rule change could be deployed in potentially days instead of 9 months. Yeah. So that was where the idea came from. And it just went from there. And the more we thought about it, the more we thought that it wasn't just something that was conceptually exciting. It was potentially a realistic option that and the airline could use. It could be for a hotel that might have noticed, for example, that a guest hasn't eaten in one of the hotel's restaurants in the last 4 nights, and offer them a special voucher to eat in the hotel that night instead of obviously eating out. We just thought this was a way in which we could allow our clients to very rapidly make changes to the way they engage with their customers. We use some of the open source components that Red Hat provides with Process Automation Manager, like the Google Translate function, for instance, so that we could send messages in French or German or Brazilian Portuguese or Portuguese via the customer's preferred channel. And because we use the multi-instance process, we could do that on a very individualized basis, customer by customer. And the more we thought about it, the more we thought, well, A, this is actually fun to build, but B, we think it's essentially realistic to take to our clients and sell as a value proposition for the ability for open source software to very, very quickly develop changes that in their legacy monolithic applications would take 9 months. We could do them in much quicker. So all I can say is that we're a relatively small niche company based. We do most of the work in Australia. We do work in New Zealand, but for a small company like us to win something like this is an astonishingly proud experience. And thank you to Red Hat. Thank you to everyone involved. We I would guess say pleasantly surprised, but more than delighted. So thank you so much to everyone.
Very good. Thank you very much. Excellent. Also, the pattern that you used, or the architecture that you used, I think is something that we see a lot as well. Especially taking out some sort of functionality from the monolith and helping our customers to react much quicker to changing market conditions, and to reduce that time the change takes from months, as you said, to maybe days. So that's great, and it's certainly something which is not unique to this industry. It's something that can be applied to pretty much any industry. But yeah, so
I was just going to say that most of the work we do in the space is actually our customers removing functionality from their monolithic applications and putting it in things like Decision Manager or Process Automation Manager. That's become an overwhelmingly large part of our business, so I agree entirely.
Yeah, slowly modernizing the architecture. No, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure the people who follow this call as well will agree. The submission is outstanding. It's a great idea. It's a great implementation, and also the presentation, as we saw through the video, is outstanding. So thank you very much, and congratulations again. We will be in touch with you and with all the other winners to get all the paperwork sorted, as Carolyn said, and then transfer the money basically, and make sure that you get all the passes and everything you need for the summit then. Okay. Any final comments, Carolyn, before we close the call from your perspective?
I don't, again, congratulations to everybody. It was, it was a tight race between a number of different submitters. So thanks to everyone, and good luck with how you progress within your projects and your development. I think anytime you get a chance to, get into hackathons and practice with some new technology, it also always gives you a chance to better your skills, take a look at some other opportunities, and just sort of be, get better in development overall. So that was really terrific. Congratulations, and good job, Manfred and the team for working on this all together. It was a good, fun few months for all of us.
Absolutely. Thanks also for your help, Carolyn, on this project. And I think from a Red Hat perspective, it was an extremely effective project. We learned a lot. I mean, developers are super important, super crucial for Red Hat. Open source is at the heart of everything we do. This was the first of its kind of this kind of type of project, virtual hackathon or various months in Europe. But the way it turned out, the way what we gained from it and what we learned from it, it was certainly not the last. So if you liked what you saw, stay tuned. We will run different kinds of hackathons. in the future. Some may be virtual, some may be on site. So try to stay in touch. Before I conclude, we have the URL here at the bottom again, reddit.devpost.com, so they can read up everything about this hackathon if you want to, also about the other projects. If you have any questions, remarks, feedback, or comments, at the bottom right, we have our Hackathon alias, which is hackathon@reddit.com, which is where you can reach us for any comments or questions that you may have. Okay, and with that, it was a blast. Thank you very much for attending, joining, participating. All the videos and all the slides and everything will be published, so stay tuned. And thank you very much, everyone. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.